Pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, and the rest of the world, the diaspora and elsewhere. Friends all. Today's episode is about politicians and excuses. And with people who want to hurt you, always have some kind of excuse. But let it be known to you that excuse is a stepping stone for failure. And nobody who always come up with an excuse can make a good leader. I am telling you that from my way of teaching, traveling, and the people I meet with. Today, I also wanted to send my great condolence to the people in Palestine, the innocent Israelites that lost their life on the 7th of October, and others. And I also wanted to call for a ceasefire where people can live in peace without threats of bombs and all kind of rhetoric to make them look like if they are the one who are committing the crime and others are doing it and accusing them. But sometimes I ask, is there a God? Or is there a devil? Never seen none of the two people, whether it's men or women. But fortunately, there's something great. Maybe we call them devil, Diablo, Satan, Shaitan. Maybe we call God Allah, bad one. But today, as human beings, I have a message for all the corrupt politicians around the world. I want you all to learn about what's going on right now. The Middle East got problems. Pakistan got problems. India got problems. Latin South America got problems. America have political problems between the Democrat and the Republican. And yes, the whole world is in chaos. All because of what? Corrupt politicians. Corrupt. And those who believe they know it all. Which brings me back to stating it clearly. For all those who live out of their country, the mainland of Africa, India, China, Caribbean, Latin, South America, or others, into another country, that you're making your living, taking care of your family, you have all right to defend it and to make it grow, that things can be better in the future for the next generation. Friends, how it is to know that from Africa, India, Europe, Latin South America, and elsewhere in the Caribbean, corrupt politicians calling the shot. That is why I said 3 things you do not get involved in. Racism is number 1. Religion is number 2. And political affair is number 3. Let's deal with Georgetown, Guyana, where I was born. I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. But when I speak like this, I expect that a lot of people is going to hear what I'm saying. You have a right to your opinion. You have a right to criticize. But do not lie. Do not accuse people. And then again, I am not responsible for your intelligence, your way of thinking, your way of bringing up, and the kind of lifestyle you live. I'm not responsible. You have a right to your domain as much as I do. If I don't like what you say, I'll walk away. But if what you say will offend me to create problems for me, then we'll have to talk. I lived through the time as a little boy in the British, and I will say here today, without an apology, the Amerindian in Guyana should come together and bring a lawsuit against Britain for handing the country to great-grandchildren of slaves and cheap labor. Because the country still, or the indigenous people, is not independent. they are still ruling by foreigners. Children, grandchildren of African descendant, East Indian descendant from India. But yet for all, out of the African descendant out of Mother Africa, which was another name, and the East Indian out of India, and the Portuguese and Chinese out from Portugal and China, these two major races, the African great-grandchildren that was born in Guyana and the Caribbean and elsewhere got a problem. It's a chip on your shoulder. Every time you open up your mouth, the white man exploits your ancestor. The white man raped your great-grandmother. The white man do all kind of wrong to you, but you benefit from it. And I'm going to repeat, your doctors, your lawyers, you are some of the greatest singers, actors and actresses. You get anything you want, and some of you during the time of slavery in America, and they were free, black people had slaves too. So friends, why we, the modern generation, have to look back hundreds or thousands years ago to make comparison with the 21st century? That is only holding us back. And that is excuse for failure. The world begins with two people, Adam and Eve, as you were told. And they were black, according to my black historian relative and friends, and the historian. Now let's do the conversation for a couple of minutes. If Adam and Eve was the first two people on the face of the earth and they were black, and you mean to tell me that they did not listen to God? Eve didn't listen to God about the fruit tree, the fruits on the tree, but she gave it to Adam when he eats it. She gave it to Adam. Because according to the Bible, and I say let's, God told them not to eat from this apple tree or eat this apple. And they said, Lucifer, tell Eve and Adam, God don't want them to get knowledge to eat the fruit. So it's a tree of knowledge. I don't believe in that. We call it storytelling, Nancy's story. But again, if Adam and Eve was black and you didn't listen to God, you have a right to suffer. If Jesus was black, who put him on the cross? There were no European there. There were no Indian there from India or Chinese. And if Moses was black, who threw the commandment in their face? Who was Pharaoh? Friends, I asked all historians and the people in school, come up with that. Look forward. Unite. If you're on an island by yourself, give it whatever race you want to call yourself, but you don't see nobody else. And the race that you condemn him appear before you. You will kill them, reject them, or you will try to live amongst them. It's like a day, 24/7. Make a day. In the day, as you could see, is bright, and the night is dark. That make a complete day. And with the hypocrisy that's going around, that blacks was in India before Indians. Blacks was in China before Chinese. Blacks was in Guyana before the Native Amerindians. Friends, lions, elephant, giraffe, and other animal that is not in existence was in Guyana long before any other country did. Because if you could say that, I could. Now, when you speak like this, my black friends and relatives will get mad. I don't like black people. I have never seen a black person yet, nor a white. Because if you got black or white in human being, of course you have to get yellow, blue, green, purple, and other color. What do you think? I'm asking a question here. Well, let's head back into Georgetown, Guyana, where I was born. And I will say it clear. Under the late Fos Burnham government, many other races see hell. until come the late Walter Rodney, the People's Power No Dictator, that unite the two major races together, not realizing with the help of Jenny Jagan, Rodney, they had to kill him. They had to. I told Dr. Walter Rodney in Pakistan, in my house at the time, because if you look back at this video, you will see I stand to him with my beret on my head, and maybe now and then a military uniform. But when I told him, Doc, my advice to you, be careful with Gregory Smith. He said, Brother Kariah, I know my people are ready for change. I said, Father John was there. And he said, listen to him and leave him alone. It so happens, I leave Guyana, go to Florida. And the same day I arrived in Florida, I called someone on the airline because I think I had misplaced a bag or something. And the lady said they were very busy because the late Walter Rodney was bombed in a car. Roma has it, it's alleged, that Gregory Smith left Freedom House 2 hours before with a bag. Nagamutu said in Queens in a meeting that he was the messenger for Jagan and Burnham to Belfield Freedom House. Friends, we have seen what is suffering. What the blacks have done in the 60s with the help of the Kennedy administration, because Jagan didn't need to come out of communism. If you had done it to another race, I don't think no black people would still exist in Guyana. It's a crime not to be forgotten. It need, on that day, the 13th, I think it was February, because Queen Elizabeth's sister, Princess Margaret, leave Guyana the Thursday night, and the Friday, it was fire and brimstone in Mackenzie in Israel, and other hotspots. There was a lot of blacks and Indians living next door or passing through the village. Not forgetting Little Agricola on the East Bank. I witnessed a lot, seen a lot of advantage. Take the women. Men was beaten. Friends, it was not a nice episode. Many people say forgive. And let me tell you all something. Only God can forgive. They leave unto man to carry through the problem. And I do believe in an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But what amazed me, I have met people lying around the world. A politician is famous for convincing people with lies, rhetoric. And I saw an interview where the woman said on Facebook, she was speaking, I didn't see her or know her name. She said, in Guyana, the Vice President Barrett Jack Deal don't lie. What a mockery and an insult to a human being. She knows better, but she just said it to show. But as I look at Mr. Barrett Jack Deal's speech, as the Vice President, I asked this question. Why did not the President do his own conference and speak to the news media? Why it have to be the Vice President? I've been around the world. I've seen a lot. Why Sam Hines did not speak on behalf of them? Tell me. Why the others? Why did not Nagamutu speak on behalf of David Fraser? Friends, all this is just a matter of show. One must not forget under the Burnham government the shortage of the food, what was banned. Things that he knows that the Indian people use for religious work and other things. But many Indians get rich during the period of the banning. So Burnham name is changed to Barnum, not Burnham. So friend, I ask many questions. When you, the black race in Guyana, is trying to deny what happened under Burnham government, even though the late Walter Rodney was murdered by him and Dr. Jagan, and you're all still defending him, you all have to suffer. You have to suffer. I believe that if my mother commit a crime and is punishable by death, so shall it be. Much less my children. And I want you all to know. And I believe that if you lie on someone, you don't need to live. Much less put them in prison wrongfully and you walk the street. You gotta be mad. If we cannot live in peace, we will die in peace. I know a lot of you black people in Guyana don't like white people. I grow amongst you, man. I hear. And the Caribbean too. I'm telling you the truth. Everything the white man exploits you. The white man do you all the wrong, but you have an education. You play electric guitar, blow saxophone. You're making millions and billions. Some of you are pilots, doctors, scientists, and I repeat. But yet the white man is wrong. I see this says that Guyana president stated that no school children who go into whatever school don't have to pay. That is a call to the government to pay to take care of the business. Yes, that's a very good suggestion, and that's good. But we have to wait for an election time, false promises again. I saw a man on Facebook said, the president promised and he fulfilled, he worked in the back dam, quote unquote, and he tell the president he need a computer for his child. And the president called him and tell him, excuse me, come for the money, which he went and received, and he bought a computer. Indian people, y'all like other people to do the fight and struggle for you, and you turn back and humiliate them and insult them. You will do it to your own. Take Max Mohammed. What become of him? Certain things I would say. Take Mr. Mansour, Speaker of the House. Actually, we know a man named George Corrine. A man, acting, when they beat him and robbed him, when he was campaigning, I think it was under David Granger administration, or Desmond Hyde, when they were voting, during 92, I think. But the United Forces play a great role to bring Guyana into independence when they cooperate and unite with Burnham in the coalition. Because Jagan had 22 seats, Burnham had 18, and the UF had 7. And in the 1992 again, United Force under the Indian Mr. Nadir Mansour give Jagan a few seats to give him the majority in the House. So in the sense, the United Force believe in peace, in unity, while the PNC is the most racial party in the country. And the PPP is one of the most corrupt, vindictive, spiteful in the country. How many more years must you give a snake and a mongoose a chance to rule over you? It's time for a change. I am saying it clearly. If Ali is doing good, it's your duty to support him. But if it's a part of the PPP, or Norton is a part of the PNC, then we shall abolish those two parties and try to bring about a national front government which will solve the interests of the people. Look at Africa. Burkina Faso, whatever they call it, French, with Mr. Tagore, or whatever they call it. You have a law. If a minister thief 1 penny, he will give him a vacation for 2 years in the prison. And all ministers in government must declare their assets and don't bank in foreign banks, bank in the nation country. Those are leaders. They come once in a lifetime to a nation. I've seen Barrett is talking a lot. So I want to know who's the president really. America, Trump, I have a vice president, I don't see talk like that. I didn't see Kamala Harris was speaking like that. So I keep asking all these questions to know why Barrett Jack, the vice president, doing all the press conference so far, addressing the nation. Is not Ali can speak to himself? He went to the UN, the world stage, and make himself a clown. He went to BBC in England and he do the same. And what amazed me, he asked for reparation for the slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade. It's a good suggestion, Mr. Ali, but what about reparation for the Amerindian in their own bloody country? Ladies and gentlemen, why this two-party hold Guyanese ransom? Let me tell you why. Because under the Lafarge burden, the black people believe they are the owner of Guyana and they can do no wrong. 90-something% of the civil servant was yours. And they claim that the PPP minister them is thieving. And of course you might be right. And I said it, you might be right. Right? But what burden do he takes? He becomes the second richest black leader in the world. Not only the Caribbean, the world, with the Ebony magazine had it. And he had the police them searching all bookshop to find that book to get rid of it. So when you, the black race, talk about another person, and back in the PNC, remember the founder leader was the one of the biggest thief, and he used the police force and the army to do nasty work, and some of his supporters. Okay? Now the PPP is using the police force, the military, and criminal to do the work of the day, as it is alleged, because anytime an Indian will give an Indian a job to kill somebody or do them wrong, they know he can talk, so 1 out of every 100 might get a chance, the real criminal-minded one. But 99% will be the black race, because they keep you all hungry. So when they bring about money, you're glad to do it, but they are not your friends. What become of fine man? And many more. Friends, learn from Bashir of Syria. Do you know how much of his supporters have been killed? Vanishing, they can't find them out now. The Shah, the same thing. Saddam, even though Gaddafi was a good man, look what become of him. Friends, you the young generation, don't worry the PPP going wrong, giving you little food and false promises. And then there are members of the PNC or APNU who signed the contract with Exxon and other business deal. It's alleged according to information. Right? So, if you don't want, and I give them a name a long time, the PPP is the snake and the PNC is the mongoose. The two of them can't agree. Y'all are not tired from the 60s to now to realize that y'all are troublemakers by putting the snake and the mongoose in the same house? 65 members. Huh? And during the last election, even though the PPP won the election, some people were saying, I think it's 33, 32, that 32 was higher than 33. Something not right here. But Guyana do not have a court system. The judiciary is nasty, it's corrupt. because of corrupt politicians and corrupt businessmen who want to manipulate and run the country with corruption. Friends, I call upon you, you the young generation, wake up and open up your eyes and do what is right for your people and your country. It is time for you all to wake up. I, George Karai, have been saying for many years, every family deserves a piece of land and 50,000 US to build a house. And now that you have the oil, the contract will have to go back over with the right government, and every guy needs to get his salary every month, but you will have to bear arms to protect the country from foreign invaders. That's all I ask of you, but it is up to you to make the move. Friend, it is time for you all to wake up and stop it. You East Indian descendant come off of the day of arrival, and you African descendant come off of emancipation. All right? And don't get involved in religion, racism, and politics if you don't understand the criteria and what you're creating. But I want the law. And when you lie on someone, they kill you. When you thief, they chop out your hand. And when you murder somebody, then we could have a fair trial because you could be tempted, you could have been threatened, or you could have been attacked so you defend yourself. Like the young man in Diamond, where his own wife, beloved wife, after the argument, and you could see it on a video somebody put out, that he was talking and he walked in and she run behind him with a knife. Now, my friends, things like that should never happen. And according to information, when they were renting a house, the landlord was fed up every time because the wife was very abusive. According to information is alleged. Right? Then I see a couple days ago in Mackenzie, Linden, and then I will say alleged, a police shot two people, one Amerindian and one other citizen or native of Mackenzie. Is the police realize what is their job? If your life has been threatened, I quite agree. But if your life is not threatened, fire the bullet in the air, man. That police should be put on their duty or fired until an investigation properly is carried out. And if it's proven that the police is wrong for firing and kill the innocent man, I believe that's the same way they must get rid of the police. I believe in that. But again, who knows? That's how Guyana runs. Corruption, nobody answers. Now going back to that again, I look at Muhammad's story. Team Muhammad and Barry Jagdeo and others are talking about the man. Mr. Barry Jagdeo said on the news, I saw it on Facebook, that the tax department is going to be behind him and all the money sharing out, you may have to help him back to pay GRA. Well, where was GRA 4 years ago, 3 years ago, or 2 years ago before they won this election back? When it's alleged they were driving in the manned car, the bulletproof vessel, and it's alleged again that Muhammad gave the PPP government a lot of money. Friends, I'm urging you all to wake up, Indian and black alike. Unite. You don't need none of the two parties. If you're living in a country of democracy and you only have two parties to run, then it's a country with a two-party system. And most third world country is like that. Even America, the most powerful country on the earth, when an independent come about, they can't win. and all kind of things take place. But in Guyana, no government official do not have a right to tell a man he cannot run for government. Then how that leader get there? How he get there? Did he born in the gold spoon? Or did he born in Buckingham Palace? So friends, if God is God, and he tried profit after profit after profit, profit after each other, why we must live in a country is only a two-party state, the good and the bad, or the ugly and the bad. Come on. It's time for we to wake up. No opposition leader, whether you're the opposition party or the ruling party, have a right to tell the citizens of the country they can't run for an election when they are bred in that country, living in that country. The country must only run by two parties. Well, I personally tell you, in order to bring about peace, you don't need none of the two. And it's time we all form a national front government. And to be fair, you don't need an Indian leader nor a black leader. You need an Amerindian to lead the country, followed by the mixed race, the Portuguese and Chinese, the black and the Indian. And the two of you already had your chance. And coming back to the oil deal with Exxon, the gold field by foreigners, who make those deals must be accounted for in the time of a fair trial. Don't blame Exxon and the foreign investors, blame the ministers who sold them the rights or who give them the permission. Friends, it's a shame. It's a shame. But again, every crime that was committed against an innocent man or child, woman or child, you all will answer to it with the right leader. And every station have a commander. Every ship have a supervisor. Excuse me. Well, to tell you the truth, I am fed up. It's problems all over. Now suddenly, y'all get a $500 the other day, some people still complaining they get it yet. And in some other area, some people are complaining about other things. But today, we in Guyana have to wake up. It is your time, friends. Your children's future is at stake. Indian and black, unite for God's sake. And they are members of a party who want to divide Guyana from Mackenzie right back. I going to wait when I will release the audio. You might recognize some voice. And if Mark Benskov going to be looking at this video, I think you should be proud and bold enough to tell y'all who's those parties and who are the people that are there. Where is Asgaradi? The man who was finance minister, and it's alleged his son was with the IMF while he was finance minister. Tell me, where is Mr. Tratman, Mr. Ramjatan, and others in the political sectors that was in parliament, security ministers and others? Tell me, friends, stop fooling yourself. You, the young generation, you will be accountable for those you endorse and back to rule Guyana because you've been paid off. And I do believe that. Because I cannot see. I saw a young man today on Facebook talking that he endorsed APNU in the past and they lied. So he grabbed the PPP. Come on, brother. What's the difference from a rat and a mongoose? They look alike. They think alike. So you don't know the difference. But even though they may have a different quality of doing things. So why not we form a national front government where the sixth race can be a part of it but the Amerindian must be the leader for their country. All right? Can an Amerindian or a mixed race Portuguese or Chinese go to Africa and claim anything there? No. Or can a black person go to India or China and claim anything? No. You may criticize the European as white man, but where many of you are going? Europe, Canada, and the United States of America. A lot of you don't like Donald Trump, but you all must remember what you all do in the past, your ancestors would have done. This world have gone a long way, friends, and it is time for we to wake up. I have a message for Guyana police and the criminals. If you get paid to kill somebody, from a businessman or a politician, never refuse to do the job by telling them no. Because they're going to get somebody to get rid of you. Because you already know the secret. And even when you take the job and you're successful, 200 others don't know who tell another couple thousand. Where the hell are you going? That is why in Iraq, Iran, and not forgetting Syria, and many other places, where the dictators get killed or run away, the people out think to die down and they hunt all of those who were backing them with their family and put them in mass grave that you will never know. You think they got out of Canada and America and elsewhere? No. Then some graveyard in the same country, rattling and forgotten. So don't make politicians lie to you or corrupt businessmen. You know why you call their name what you've done and bring it back to them? They are beyond that, friends. So I urge you in the name of God, wake up before it's too late. Wake up. Every guy needs his own piece of land and 50,000 US to build your house. Guyana need workers, so Mr. Ali, if you're doing good, we have a right to support you. But why is your vice president doing all the press conference? But you went to the UN to embarrass yourself and your nation. You went to England and do the same. And you're talking for reparation for African descendants, and I wouldn't blame you. But what about the Amerindian? What about the other rest? What about your own Indian? What the PNC members in Parliament and the corrupt police and others done to your Indian race? I hear you calling for no ration for them. What about for the few brothers and sisters who died in the plane going to Cuba over the air of Barbados when the plane was blown up? I don't even hear a holiday for them. A memorial things to put up as a statue for them. But we will have of thieves, corrupt people that cause it. Friends, y'all may not like me, but the truth is very powerful. It is time for y'all to wake up. Every Guyanese family deserves a piece of land to build their house, and 50,000 US to help them. And to trade with America, England, and our neighbors, because this is all that we know. I urge you in the name of God to wake up and stop the fighting. And all of you got your cell phone. When you see brutality, record it, you will get good money for it. Trust me. And all those, and let me make it clear to the mothers, the wives, the sisters, the children of a police officer. Every morning before they go up on the road, y'all should have a meeting. Not to get involved in anything illegal, killing and locking up. Because just what you can do, other people can do worse. So you don't want to get into that. I beg you in the name of God, wake up and do the right thing. That's all I could tell you. Friends, today in Guyana there's a lot of suffering. I heard a man says what the Venezuelans are doing in Guyana. And he happens to be an Afro-Guyanese. Are he not aware how many Guyanese, Indian, and blacks are living in the Caribbean, the America, Canada, and even in Venezuela? I don't think he knows. Somebody should educate him. But are you not aware? In Guyana, where they're killing each other unnecessarily, lying? That's human nature, my friend. Law and order must maintain. So I don't see y'all want good for you but bad for your neighbors. Not all Venezuelans are criminals. Not all Guyanese are stupid and a fool. But I'm saying again, if Ali is doing good, it's your duty to keep him there. And I'm going to be honest. A very true story. Indian, every $100 they spend, they keep 55 to 60. But they spend the other party. You will see progress. But for the blacks, they teach 99%. So we need a government for the people by the people. And with the slogan, we will not tolerate dictators in Guyana. We had enough problem with it. All right? So for all who wear the red shirt and the green shirt, I beg you to change. The future of your children and you is on stake. Okay? Let's open up the door to Africa and India and bring people from where our ancestors came from. And let's give the Amerindian their country as their head, administered by the others. All right? Maybe y'all are better than God if God could send so many prophets and to preach the word and tell you how to live. And men kill them and he's still sending more. He didn't send back Jesus or Muhammad. He sent other people, but y'all killing them. And he named God. What y'all know that God don't know? I'll tell you what y'all know. Y'all know to lie and thief. But God will tolerate it. And not long from now, Guyana is going to hit in a case. But every crime that was committed against innocent man, woman in Guyana, because of corrupt people, corrupt judges, magistrates, police, and also ministers, y'all are going to soon answer the call. Believe me, nothing lasts forever. Friends, I don't want to say much today, but I urge you in the name of God, change. If T. Muhammad is doing good and he wants to run for politics, it's a duty for the people to support him. Because we had enough of rhetoric and false promise. With this, let me bring this video to an end at the present moment. Thanking you for listening. And if you want to make a comment against me, you're free to do so. But do not lie and tell me black people was in Guyana and elsewhere before the other race. Okay? Thank you all for listening. If I offend you again, no hard feelings. That was not my intention. But due to lack of your education, your knowledge, and your wisdom, I'm sorry to say, can't help you. Good night and goodbye. Thank you for listening.